Wherever you are in the world. My name is Doug Brunke. I am the founder and CEO of Global Chamber. One of the things that we deal with, especially if you've lived overseas, is proximity bias. And if you've lived overseas, you understand it very well if you're reporting to another country headquarters. And I felt that a lot when I was particularly living in Japan, when I was running the business, and the business was run in Wilmington, Delaware. This was with the DuPont company. And then our European headquarters were in Geneva. And they were kind of somewhat close, but Geneva always complained about how nobody in Wilmington listened to them. And literally nobody listened to me unless I made like a noise. I had to make constant noises and constant creative ways to be in the loop, because really the only thing that mattered was downtown Wilmington. It was like crazy. Even Ohio was tough for them to grasp. If a member had, or a client had, or customer had problems, to solve the problem, the salespeople in Ohio would complain, "Oh my God, nobody at headquarters really gets, and they don't care, and this and that." It's like, try living in Japan, dude. It's different. And so one of the things certainly that we at Global Chamber try to combat is the understanding that, first of all, global is important, and secondly, to get global opportunities on people's radar screens. And really great to hear, Deborah, about your business and how it shifted toward global. There's probably some people we need to connect you with. Why don't we start with you today? You've entered, all of you, the League of Extraordinaries. This is a long time standing accelerated business matching, strategic connecting opportunity with members only. So all of you are members of Global Chamber. So that kind of random people showing up isn't going to be an issue today. So it's people that we know and that we trust, and that, so that part is really good. The second piece is, as you've already observed, that members of Global Chamber are thoughtful and mindful and care about others. So as you're each speaking and sharing who you want to meet and how we can help you, I'm sure you'll all be checking each other's LinkedIn profile. We'll also follow up after this call with a post in LinkedIn with all of you connected. So you'll have that as just in case you don't connect here in the meeting. Again, the purpose is for us to hear who you want to meet. If you focus in on that and get as detailed as you can, that's going to help you and us pinpoint who a good connection is. And we look forward to learning more. So, Deborah, who would you like to meet? How can we help you? And what else would you like to share with the Global Tribe?
Sure. Hi, everyone. New to the Global Chamber, is just a couple months. So I own an international executive search firm, and I get hired by companies to find them their C-suite level talent. And so introductions for me, I work a lot in the lower middle market private equity space. I have offices across the country. We have reached in 35 countries around the world. So anyone that's a key decision maker that may be looking to make a change in their leadership team, if someone's leaving, or if there's any kind of opening, transitioning in and out, those sorts of things. But whoever's a key decision maker and may need a good search process, because we really look at candidates from, we call it a three-dimensional recruitment process: leadership, personality fit, cultural fit, and technical skill set. So that's me. My company is Share Velocity, and we're headquartered in Denver. Thanks, Doug.
Yay. And you are on the Global Chamber Los Angeles Advisory Board, which is a reminder that if you're a member of Global Chamber, you're a member everywhere. And if there's a city where you want to grow, you have the opportunity to join an advisory board, or certainly participate in meetings that are in those locations. So thank you, Deb. What questions does anybody have? Anybody do recruiting or need recruiting on an international basis?
Hey, Doug.
I have a question.
Sorry, Doug, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, let's go with Eddie first, and then I think that was Anita. Please go ahead, Eddie.
Thanks, Doug. Yeah, thank you very much. I have a question. What's the best way to engage with you? I work with companies that are looking to come to the US, and I work with Arizona companies that are looking to export into other markets. And so building out go-to-market teams, global sales teams, things along that nature are one of the first things people ask once we decide on a channel. So how would I be able to engage with you if I've got a client with some needs?
Oh, sure. I can put my contact information in the chat. Also, I'll put the link to my LinkedIn profile as well. You can go to my website, or my email is dyoung, D for Dove, Young, YOUNG, at sharevelocity.com, SHEER.
Okay.
Yeah. And if anything, Eddie, it would be great to just maybe let's find a time to chat. I'd like to learn more about what you're doing too.
Yeah, Eddie's
Yeah.
in Tucson. He's a global leader around sales, and he works with a lot of organizations around the world that need help. So you guys are a really great match.
I'm happy to. Thank you.
Thanks, Eddie.
Anita, did you have a question? Was that you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, so I was just curious, do people find you? Do you find them? And with as you said, you're now getting more into international arena. Are there particular countries that you are focusing on?
So we've been the US sole US partner for Enoch Global Executive Search, which is it's a top 40 boutique global executive search firm. And so I have colleagues around the world in 35 countries, a lot in Europe, South America, Mexico, not as much in Asia Pac, South Africa, India. And so we refer and exchange business to each other for our clients in those countries. So, that's kind of how we work our global piece. The clients that I currently have are headquartered overseas, but they're doing business here in the US. Does that answer it, Anita?
Thanks. Say it again.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, absolutely. Thanks. And I'll reach out to you to set up a time to chat.
Perfect. Thank you.
I have a question also, Beatriz Rodriguez. One of the key challenges for executives to move across different countries, particularly in the US, that is a very attractive market to go and work, is the immigration requirements. How you deal with that? How your company deal with that? Because many potential candidates may have that interest, but how that challenge is overcome by your company?
Yeah, so mostly our clients, the company that's actually hiring the folks that have retained me to find them, they usually deal with the immigration piece of it. There is a gentleman in New York City that I confer with quite a bit, and he does all immigration work. And so lots of times the visa is owned by wherever the corporate headquarters is. It's a challenge right now, though. Companies don't want to deal with, having to go through that whole process because it's a big process. And if they can find a local candidate, always that's their preference.
That's why I'm asking, because usually when you have a candidate in the US that is a big source of resources, it's very difficult for the company to justify the transfer of a potential candidate or employee from another country. That's why I was asking the question. Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you, Beatrice. Thank you very much. Let's keep moving. We have about 45 minutes and 10 people or so to go. So that's about 4.5 minutes per person. So I'll try to be a better facilitator and kind of keep us on track. Hopefully you've learned a lot about Deb and her business. Deb, just one quick question. You've been in this industry for quite a while. How long have you been running your business?
So I've had my company since 2012. So we're going into our 13th year or so.
Fantastic.
Well, yeah, but I've been doing executive recruiting for 25.
One of the best. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's now go to let's see, where did he go? Oh, there he is. Andy Wang. Andy he's an automotive expert, and we've known each other for a long time. He actually helped start up our Global Chamber Dallas chapter, and now he's in the Bay Area, in the East Bay, and he's on our advisory board there in San Francisco. Andy, who would you like to meet, and how can we help you? Thank you for the long time support and collaboration.
Absolutely love to talk about the opportunity here, and also thank you, Doc. Thank you, the team members. Yes, I've been working on a global business development for I was almost 22 years, and definitely for my expertise focused into electric vehicle, global automotive OEM, global tier 1, and also automation, semiconductor, recently includes AI. So most of my clients, they actually come to me because I've been in the area for so long. So most of the OEM, they knows me pretty well. So I help them work on the product development, sourcing on the technology, and also evaluate the technology proposition. So definitely I do work on many different new, I would say that the area with my expertise. But going forward, I would say that I really appreciate the team can help me to look out for the and also feel free to connect. If you have any needs, the company wants to go into automotive business, I can provide my expertise, my consultation, my business network to support their activity. And also going forward, I'm also happy to connect. I do have a recently, because of the Global Chamber, I do create quite a lot of new the government contest, and also the official establishments I was oversee. This is actually very important to me because I'm actually kind of global. Definitely love to explore more. Yeah, thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Andy. I think Eduardo Gonzalez would be a good one for you, and we may have already connected him, and if not, we probably should. He was down at the World Korea Business Convention. I know you were remote, but Eduardo was actually there, and I had it in my mind to make sure that you two were connected because of his automotive background, primarily in Mexico. So if you're not, we'll get that. Does anybody have any questions? We have time for one question. Anybody else work in the automotive industry or clients with automotive?
Just have one quick question. Andy, where are you located?
I'm actually based in California, just on the East Bay, very close to Livermore National Laboratory. Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Very good. Thank you, Andy, for all that you do, and very valuable resource. And I think because you're so well connected, just one final question. Who would be a good connection for you? Because you know everybody in automotive. So who's left that doesn't know about you that we should be thinking about?
Well, that's actually a great question because I'm back to consultant role from my previous unfortunate layoff. Right now, it's actually the other way around. The people who wants to get involved, expand their business sector, exposure, its expertise, new business growth into the automotive area. Most company and also the big corporation or the medium, small size company, when they need the expert to help them plan the strategy, plan the expansion, plan the fit between their business culture, their business expertise with automotive OEM or the tier 1. That's the client base I don't have right now, but I'm pretty sure that That's actually where I think Doc and also the rest of I would say the Global Chamber members, your resource will be very valuable. But certainly in exchange, if you really your clients might be looking into how can we expand, optimize the operation? How can we be a better position against our competitor?
Okay.
I do
Got it.
have a lot of resource. Yeah, thank you.
Perfect. And I think another Eddie Geisel will be a good one because he works with a lot of companies wanting to get into the automotive industry from other countries, and probably Zach Selch would be a good one too because he has so many international distributors. Any of you who are doing international work and have distribution networks, both of those people, Zach Selch and Eddie Geisel, who's on this call, are people you should know. And Zach is speaking on December 1st with Connie Kadansky on our global sales roundtable. Check that out as well. Speaking of extraordinary people who distribute product around the world, I see that Dr. Martha Medina is here, and she's like an exporter extraordinaire. She's also a pretty new member of Global Chamber. I first heard her speak through the District Export Council, which I'm also part of, and it was like, wow, this lady knows her stuff, and she exports around the world. So Martha, are you able to share a little bit about who you would like to meet and anything that we can do to help you in your exporting expertise and adventures?
Sure. Good morning. Sorry I joined late. I've got two sons that I've got to take to school and have to stop, randomly. So anyway, thanks for the introduction, Doug. I didn't know what I was coming into, to be honest, but I'm thrilled to be here and excited to talk to all of you. And as Doug said, my expertise is in exporting dietary supplements. I've been in this industry for a company called 21st Century Healthcare. We manufacture vitamins and pet supplements here in Tempe, Arizona. I've been doing this for, almost 12 years, something like that. And prior to that, in the quality control and quality assurance side of things, my background, actually, I have a PhD in biochemistry. So interesting enough, that kind of ties into everything, because you may or may not know that dietary supplements have to be registered in other countries, and typically they're registered as if they were pharmaceuticals. So pretty stringent requirements. And in fact, just this week, I got hit with another requirement that's going to probably cancel the sales of many of my products in countries like Bahrain and Kuwait, which is unfortunate. So I think if I'm being asked who would I love to meet, one, I think I would love to meet anybody else who is doing the international sales or registration side of things, specifically in the dietary supplement industry. I would love to know how other companies are doing this, mainly because I am a team of one in our company. I'm the only one that handles the international sales side, from the logistics to the registration to the sales side of things. So it would be nice to see how other companies do this role. And two, it would be great to meet somebody who has some ties to, how do I word this? Legalization departments in embassies, or the US Department of State, and try to understand the lag and lead times of legalizing documents. That's been a huge struggle this year. The US Department of State right now is taking up to 12 weeks to get documents legalized, with no way of checking, no way of speeding things up. And obviously that takes a hit on my timelines to get product to market in other countries. So it's a pleasure to meet you all, and I'm excited to be a part of this.
Fantastic. Yeah, definitely Zach Selch is someone we need to get you connected to because of his expertise. And also there's a pet supplement company that I think will probably be able to trade information. And then there's a guy at Wisdom Natural Brands. Have you talked to them at all in terms of the alliance around the regulatory side of it?
No, I haven't.
They've had a lot of turnover, and the main lady that we've been working with unfortunately passed away. But I just talked, and they're renewing, and the export fellow was talking about their supplemental food products around the world, and his expertise is mainly Canada, and he needs help in some other countries, but there is some alignment.
We don't do Canada, so that's perfect.
Okay, yeah, nice alignment. So I'll definitely work on those myself. And does it And does anybody have a quick question? I think we have about 30 seconds.
I have a quick question. Martha, is the work that the State Department does for legalizing documents, is that the same thing as apostilling the
Yeah.
documents?
Yeah,
Because
it
there's
is.
independent places that do that.
Right. And I think part of that, as you get into it, it starts to become a cost issue. A lot of my documents tend to be very expensive on the other side of things. I just sent a document today or yesterday to the UAE embassy, and it literally cost me $3,500 to do 6 documents, which in my mind it's mind-boggling. So we have to try to keep costs down in that way. So obviously doing it the regular route through US Department of State, it's only $20 versus hiring somebody to do it for you. It starts to become pricey. So I just have to get on the ball and do it as soon as I get the request, so that while the request is happening, I'm working on registration dossiers, and then that flows. But it never used to be this way. Before COVID, I believe that lead times were anywhere between 2 and 3 weeks to get a document back. So to go to 12 to 16 weeks is, it's crazy.
Thank you very much, Anita. Thank you, Martha. Please, for you and all of you, feel free to put your information in the chat area, and just reiterating, this meeting will end at the top of the hour. That's certainly our goal. And then sometime today, there'll be a LinkedIn post with all of you connected, so you'll be able to hyperlink with each other if you haven't already connected.
Perfect. Thank you, Doug. And I'm going to apologize because I am going to have to jump off in about 10 minutes. So I apologize for that ahead of time.
Thanks for letting us know.
Sure,
Let's jump to Mexico and Sam Santiago, Mr. Tequila. Thank you so much for your support at the Global Chamber Mexico City event. Is that you, Sam, or do you have a moment?
Yes, it's me, and happy to be here and happy to share a few minutes with you. Good morning to you, Doug. Buenos dias.
It's wonderful to see you. Who would you like to meet, and how can we help? I know you're working with the tequila company, and you've got like 1,000,001 things. Sam also helped get our Global Chamber Manzanilla chapter up, and there's some issues related to what's going on. But these days, are you living in Mexico City or Dallas or both or other places?
We're in Mexico City, but we're all over the Republic. So happy to connect here. Thank you for the opportunity to join this conversation. Let me just very briefly take you back. The work of the Global Chamber, if you as members do not already know this, is crucial to so many of us, and it's been to so many others for so many years. And I had the opportunity to connect initially in Dallas, where I lived for 25 years of my life, with Karina Smith and then Nelson Olavarreta. And now more recently, I haven't had an opportunity to meet the new executive director, but hopefully we'll have an opportunity to do that very soon. Dallas is near dear to my heart, was home for 25 years, continues to be home for a little bit. We still have friends and family and properties and whatnot over there. So with that as a background, Sam Santiago, buenos dias, good morning. I'm the founding partner and chief administrative officer for Grupo Sancovian. We are based in Mexico City, but we also have operations in Manzanillo, Veracruz, Guadalajara, and some of the other larger cities and maritime ports in the country. And I specify maritime ports because we are a corporate group, very small, but mighty, corporate group that's dedicated to logistics, both imports and exports, ground transportation, the movement of the goods once they hit the ports. We move them around the country. Very soon, cross-border, we're in the process of expanding to international. We also have a marketing, advertising, and event production company, security, as in security escorts for the ground transportation, moving the goods, property management and hospitality, and more recently, which has been what we've been promoting the most, and Doug made a reference to, we're launching a tequila brand. Along with that, we will have mezcal and beer very soon. We're doing that here in Mexico initially under the brand Tequila Mil Demonios, and of course, never miss the opportunity to advertise your product. So here it is.
That looks
great. We had a virtual tasting a couple of weeks ago, and then at the sort of the launch event here in Mexico City for the Global Chamber, we had an opportunity to do a full-on tasting with cocktails and all kinds of goodies for those who attended. So the organizations that I'm most interested in connecting with are organizations, companies, or individuals that are in international trade. So literally sticking to the main philosophy of the Global Chamber. We are in the process, as I mentioned, of developing the part of our company that does the cross-border movement of goods, products, and services. So that's the one thing that we definitely want to make sure that we have an opportunity to share, and that you know we're here to do, and that we're here to guide you through the process if you need that kind of information. And conversely, if you have connections of individuals who are trying, or companies as well that are trying to move goods and products into Mexico, we definitely would like to do that as well. We're currently working with a wide variety of companies. We have clients like Bolloré, we have clients like DSV, we have clients like Nippon. These are companies from France, Denmark, Japan, and then a number of other national companies or domestic companies from Mexico. We work directly with clients that are trying to move their goods directly, but we also work with freight forwarders for whom we provide then the service on the ground. So we're kind of the provider for that client. So having said this, we do a little bit of everything. Great opportunity to connect with you all. For example, Martha, I don't know if you're still on. I have a connection here in Mexico who has developed a nutritional company, a nutritional services and products company. Don't know if you're interested in doing that. I think that you were a little more specific about the work that you're trying to do in the US first. But if you're ever interested in learning a little bit more about what's going on here in that area, or do some sort of partnership, please let me know. Happy to make the connection there. Last but not least, I've been working on developing my expertise, serving on boards of directors and advisory boards for-profit corporations, mainly small to medium-sized companies, which are probably companies I'm most connected with. And along with that, for the last 20 plus years, I've been working in the diversity, equity, and inclusion field, doing consultations, doing training, doing all kinds of assessments, and work with companies from arts organizations to large organizations, in countries around the world, trying to explore, what it really means to be an inclusive organization. With that, I'll pause. If there are any questions or any connections that you would recommend, happy to listen to that. And I left all of my information in the chat section.
Sam, you are a Renaissance man. We're going to keep moving because now a couple people added to the room here, and we do want to finish up at the top of the hour. So we're down to about 3 minutes each. So, so we're going to go. Certainly one of the people, I'm sure you maybe already know Sergio Cuellar, but he just joined the room and is definitely somebody that you need to connect with for multiple reasons. And we'll get to him hopefully here in a little bit. Let's come back to Anita. Anita, thank you for your questions earlier. Thank you for being on the Los Angeles Global Chamber Los Angeles Advisory Board. And Anita is also starting to facilitate a conversation about exporting and importing coming up on November 16th. Anita also has a currency expertise, so anything foreign currency, Anita knows, and she's also a networking guru in the sense of knowing the process, but also what to say and what not to say during that. So Anita, you also are a Renaissance person and a Renaissance woman. Who would you like to meet and how can we help you?
Hi, thank you so much, Doug, for everything. It's such a pleasure to be involved in the Global Chamber. So with regards to currency exchange, I am looking for companies that are doing any type of cross-border payments, as long as that, unless they're sending money to, unfortunately, India or China who wants to be paid in dollars. But sending money anywhere around the world for global payments, for whatever it is you're doing, the companies that I represent make it a lot less expensive, a lot faster, a lot easier, better rates, etc. So I'm looking for those types of connections. So in the for companies based in the US, I'm looking for importers, basically. But since I can open accounts for people in Europe and a lot of other countries, people who are importing there as well, making foreign payments for their merchandise, those are ideal. With regard to the networking, I am a corporate trainer, and as Doug said, I do have a program for working on your elevator pitches. Some of you have already attended, but I am looking to do corporate training in that respect. So if a company has a sales team that they want to be trained so that when they do meetings like this, then they can get their 30 seconds in. And I'll give you an example of what the elevator pitch sounds like in a second. And then I am also a pronunciation coach. So my undergrad degree was in linguistics, and I do work with foreign diplomats, business people, and a lot of actors who want to reduce their accents when speaking American English. They want to sound a little bit more like Californians. We have a very neutral English pronunciation. So happy to help with that. So let me just end with my 30-second elevator pitch so you know what it sounds like. Hello. Anita Rodal, president of SBPI Services. I represent two of the world's largest non-bank foreign exchange companies. They save their import and transnational clients money and time when sending and receiving cross-border payments. I'm also a corporate trainer. My About Your Elevator Pitch webinars and workbook are for business professionals who do B2B networking, while my private pronunciation coaching is for foreigners looking to reduce their accents when speaking English. Anita Rodal, SBPI Services.
Fantastic. Great, great work. And as a foreigner, as a New Yorker, I definitely probably need the services, not just for English, but definitely for Spanish. And thank you for your ongoing coaching there. So connect with Anita on so many different levels. Let's now go to Eddie Geisel in Tucson, Arizona. Eddie is a guru on sales, and he helps companies not only connect, but the process of becoming sales with Prana Sales. Eddie has been a longtime member and supporter. He's on the Tucson Global Chamber Advisory Board. Eddie, thank you for all your international work. Who would you like to meet, and how else can we help?
Thanks, Doug, and thanks, everybody. As Doug said, I've been doing international business development and sales leadership for the last 25 years. I'm also part of the Arizona District Export Council, and I also work with the government of Australia, helping technology companies export over here. And in my history, I've noticed that, especially now as technology is getting more prevalent, the way that people communicate is actually diminishing, and relationships are suffering, and it's leading to people or companies not hitting their sales targets the way they would expect. So I work with small to mid-size companies, mostly in technology, but it doesn't have to be technology. I help them with their global go-to-market strategies. I help them with market entry analysis, building out their sales teams, how to evaluate international candidates. And where I spend most of my time is in the coaching side of things. So working with sales executives that are looking to be better leaders and to get the most out of what they do. My background is international, so looking at or incorporating a lot of cultural awareness and COI, as well as how to manage multi-generational teams in the sales realm is where I focus. So I'm looking to partner with anybody that either is wanting to scale globally as a company. I can help you there. And definitely those sales teams that are with companies that are engineering solutions, what we call complex solutions, that have a disconnect between their innovation and how they actually go about scaling, because I feel like I can help them a lot as well.
Yeah, now I remember that we've known each other from your mining days. So Eddie is one of those guys that would be like, where's Eddie? It's the Where's Waldo. He would just spend time everywhere in the world, particularly mining areas, with technology and other products. So congratulations on your international career. And he's now applying that to help these, whether it's the technology companies in Australia to grow, but really anybody else. So he is definitely a resource for you to know. And for those of you here in the Western US, being in Tucson, he's conveniently located. Thank you, Eddie, for all that you do.
Thank you. Thanks, Doug.
Let's go to Luis Miranda, who's also kind of in this part of the world. He's a nearshoring expert. And so, Luis, this is your first visit to this meeting. So thank you. Welcome to Global Chamber. Who would you like to meet and how can we help you? Are you able to speak now?
Yes, thank you very much. Sorry for joining late. I was actually with the team from Michigan that are planning a very nice plant and a very huge project here in Guadalajara. Well, thank you very much for the invitation to join the chamber. I am in Guadalajara, Mexico. I started here my college, and then I went to California. I had the opportunity to meet Anita, maybe she does not remember me, with Jeff. I went to UCLA for an MBA in finance real estate. I've been working on site selection for companies from the US, from Europe, from Canada, from Asia that are coming to Mexico. I've been in site selection almost 30 years and also working with industrial real estate developers throughout Mexico. Tijuana, Monterrey, Juárez, Reynosa, Querétaro, San Luis Potosí, Mexico City, Guadalajara. So basically, our new company is called Mexico. It's called Nearshoring Mexico Solutions. We do the soft landing. We help companies that are coming to Mexico do, well, you already know what's going on in the world, and we have to make stronger our regional supply chain. So basically, with what we have seen with COVID and with what's happening in Ukraine and with the Panama Canal also, with this disruption in the supply chains, and also with the tariffs and taxes that US has now with China, there are many companies reshoring to the United States, but there are also many companies doing nearshoring because the United States market still is the most important market in the world. So these companies, some do reshoring and nearshoring, and some ones does just reshoring, and some ones just do nearshoring. So basically, Mexico is like helping those companies that are coming to getting closer to the market, and also that those that want to get in the free trade agreement zone. We have been helping companies, as I told you, from Germany, from Canada, from Asia, and from the United States. I am currently working in a big project with a company from Michigan. It's a very nice company, very good guys. We have helped them introduce them lawyers to incorporate their subsidiaries. Also, guys on the tax side. We help them also to get connected with human resources companies that help them hire and look for the talent they want. And I am very specialized on site selection. Actually, I just got my book. I don't know if you can see it, that I bought, that it's very nice. It's called Corporate Site and Economic Development. We work very close with the economic development of the federal government, state government, and municipal government. So basically, also we help them to introduce them supply chain companies that will be the providers. Actually, Tesla is doing that a lot. Looking, as you know, Tesla has a new mega plant, giga plant project in Monterrey. But the supply chain will come from the whole country.
Fantastic. Great resource. I presume you're already connected to Eduardo Gonzalez, but if you're not, we should do that for sure. The former commerce minister for Mexico was in Phoenix last night, and Eduardo and Mike Patterson were there on my invitation. So hopefully you guys get connected. Let's keep moving around the room because we'd like to finish up by the top of the hour. Sarah Cornett, you've been waiting patiently. Sarah, Luis is in a really key growth area because instead of China plus one, it's no longer that. It's getting out of China. And to your point, companies are looking to find manufacturing in other countries actively, not China. And Mexico is one of the options. Artificial intelligence is a huge, as we all know, huge opportunity. It's already being implemented many places. You're hopefully implementing it for your business as well. Sarah, who would you like to meet? How can we help you? And certainly your expertise, one of your experiences and expertise are in AI. How can we help?
No, thank you, Doug, for the introduction. Yes, so I'm an AI strategy consultant. I help businesses maximize their return on investment on specific AI solutions. I have specific experience in marketing CRM systems, things like HubSpot, Salesforce, and Pegasystems. So really helping getting to more personalized customer experience by leveraging the power of AI. While that's my primary experience, I'm also helping clients with other AI products. It doesn't have to be specifically in the CRM space. So I'm just really looking for companies that are interested in AI. Maybe they haven't started their AI journey yet, to really be able to help clients, bringing on the right AI solution that's going to deliver the maximum business value. So if you're interested in AI, you have a use case you think would be very impactful for your business, be very interested in meeting with you and seeing how we can find the right solution to solve for your business use case.
Thank you very much, Sarah. So if everybody needs AI, so I would definitely suggest, tapping into her knowledge and resources and have a conversation with her and make sure that you're connected. I did get a message from Sergio, and I thank you for turning over your time, but I do want to mention about Sergio Cuellar, who is an entrepreneur, and certainly, I think, based on what I've seen, one of the most engaging events we've ever done at Global Chamber was one that we do monthly, virtual dining, and we did one on coffee. And Sergio is an expert on the coffee industry, global coffee industry, among other things, including rare earths and electric vehicles. And probably, Andy, you need to connect with Sergio because of his supply chain angle into the electric vehicles world. But Sergio is also a key global advisor for us in Mexico City. So thank you, Sergio, for turning over your time, and definitely connect up with him because of just so many things that he's involved with. So Dwight, speaking of experts, oh my God. So Dwight Winkler, we gave him a connection to somebody who had an export finance deal, and I saw Dwight's expertise in action through that deal. And then we had a follow-up lunch a week or two ago, and Dwight was passionately explaining what this woman was walking into, a dangerous, maybe not dangerous, but a suboptimal export financing deal. And he is brilliant. And so if you've got any clients or you yourself have any export financing requirements, Dwight is the first stop. He is extraordinary. Dwight, who would you like to meet and how can we help?
Well, thank you for that elevator speech, Doug. I really appreciate that. That was awesome. And that, but yes, my core area is in cross-border trade finance. I've conducted international business and lived and worked abroad for over 36 years. Spent the last 15 years in the Middle East between Kuwait and most recently Saudi Arabia. And that, but I'm looking for businesses either export or import, and it doesn't have to be out of the United States, either coming in or going out. It can be between other countries, and that movement of goods, and that where they need to have commercial terms, provide financing with that short term to medium term, and that I can work at how to mitigate those risks and how to best structure the deal. As Doug said, the particular transaction, I won't get into the details of it in that, but this particular party had almost $1 million at risk in that, just because of the way the deal was structured, and unfortunately got to me too late so that to re-engineer it. But that all says in that if you have a transaction and you're at the start of putting it together, in that would be the optimum time to bring me in to take a look at it and how best to structure it. With that, I also bring contract management, drafting, negotiating skills, as well as budget control background. And that, and all of these skills I've honed with U.S. multinational companies, as well as foreign companies abroad. and let's say the last 15 years in the consulting role in the telecom space. And that having built out a network in Kuwait to optimizing a budget control system in Saudi Arabia for a telecom site builder and leaseback to operator program. So I'm based in Phoenix and open and available to support anyone that would need my expertise to go to work and do that.
Yeah, if you haven't connected with Martha yet, I hope you will. Martha Medina, who was on earlier. So she's amazing, on the export side. So
I have put a message to her about connecting and perhaps taking forward in a subsequent conversation.
She stepped out. She had to leave, but I think she may be at the meeting next Thursday, the International State of the Metro.
And one last plug in that November 6th, it's part of the Chicago Global Chambers Chicago Metro. We have Series 2 of our Export Trade Finance program. And I would highly recommend anyone that has an interest in the area signing up. It's at 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, in that we have on the program someone from Exim Bank, Small Business Administration, and then somebody from a credit reporting agency on how to do your due diligence and your work that you need to do in advance of doing a sale overseas and wanting information on your buyer. So I would highly recommend that you register for that on the Global Chamber event. It's open for members and non-members, and that would be a good place to learn some more information on this wonderful world of cross-border trade.
It's the second in the series. The first one was fascinating, and I actually was driving through LA at the time, and I was going through traffic, and there were multiple times where I had nearly an accident because I was kind of focused in on the conversation. This one has Credit Safe, I think the Exim Bank and the SBA experts on financing, and Dwight will be there and others. So please check that out. And I saw a message from Mega, who's here in the call, and I think Mega, your name is Mega Shah, I believe, based on what I can tell from email. So definitely fill out your name fully here. And you're a student, and Dwight is mentoring you. Do you have a moment just to say hi?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Doug, for this opportunity. Good morning, everyone. I'm a first semester student here in Thunderbird School. I have about 15 years of experience in trade finance, been into banking, fintech, and logistics businesses. In my last job, I was working with a Palo Alto-based fintech startup, wherein I was responsible for growing their business in some parts in Asia and Middle East. And back in lockdown, I figured that there's a need for me to upgrade my skills because technology is taking over. And that's when I decided to coming back to school here at Thunderbird. And I'll quickly take a moment to say hi to Dwight and Anita. Dwight is my mentor. And he has been helping me, guiding me, and he's introduced me with Global Chamber. Thank you so much.
And it reminds me that when I was at lunch with Dwight a couple of weeks ago, he was so passionate about this people that he's working with and mentoring, and he's clearly good at it, and he's very passionate about it. So if you have someone that's a young global leader that is interested in learning more about how to get to the next level, we probably need to get Dwight involved with our Young Global Leader program as well, if you're not already. Dwight, thank you for all that you do. And Mega, thank you for joining today and putting in a good word about yourself and with Dwight as well. Mega Shah, who's a master's student at Thunderbird.
Thanks, Mega.
Thank you.
Let's go to Beatrice Rodriguez. Beatrice, I believe you're in Brazil. And so thank you for what you do. And you were asking a question earlier. How can we help? And who would you like to meet?
Yeah, to briefly introduce myself, I represent the BMRB Consultoría, Consulting. We are specialized in quality assurance, good manufacturing practices, industrial microbiology, and all related. We serve companies from industries as cosmetics, household, hygiene, basically whatever product manufacturing facility that have a risk of microbial contamination. And we are familiar with all the GMP regulations for the region and also abroad. So we can help companies that want to meet compliance in the different countries. So I would like to meet with companies that want to have a deep dive on this kind of regulations, or have interest in increased capability associated with clean design, micro contamination prevention programs. They want to train their teams or solve recurrent contamination issues, these kind of things. Additionally, we work with open innovation, facilitating communication between academia and industry for innovation collaborations. So that's me.
Where would the companies be located? Ideally, where would they be?
Well, I'm able to communicate in Portuguese, in Spanish, and English. So I don't have a limitation geographically for that. It's just the need to increase capability for people, etc. I'm being in contact a lot with people in Mexico and Argentina, even Uruguay, and the US, and also in the UK. So
Wow.
I don't have geographical limitation at this moment.
Okay. We probably need to get you connected to Meditar in Argentina. And you also made me think of two different initiatives that we have going on related to your expertise around manufacturing capability. One of our new members, Kaizen, fairly famous, Mr. Imai, who came up with all that with Kaizen, just passed away, and they're joining Global Chamber right now, and we'll have an event in December. And another one you may all be familiar with is Eli Goldratt, who passed away earlier, decades ago, but his son, Rami Goldratt, and Goldratt Group are members of Global Chamber, and we're going to have a 4-day workshop split 2 days a month and then another 2 days in Los Angeles starting in February 8th and 9th. And so there was a little bit of a delay because of what's happening in Israel. They're headquartered in Israel, but now we've got the date set. So watch for that information. I think it'll be aligned, Beatrice, with a lot of what you're doing. And maybe there's ways we can somehow merge this into your expertise.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Let's now go to Nihi Sanusi. And Nihi, thank you for all that you do. If you do any work in Africa, talk to Nihi. He knows everybody. He happens to be in Lagos. He's also a trusted professional and someone you can count on. We've known him for a long time, and he's a longtime member of Global Chamber, and he's our advisory board lead for Lagos. Nihi, do you have anything to share? How can we help?
Thanks, Doug. Always good to be here. Thank you for the good word. Yes, my name is Niyi. I'm a lawyer in Lagos, Nigeria. I can also be your first point of contact for a lot of things in Nigeria and to a good extent, some other parts of Africa. We have a network of lawyers and professionals across the continent. So should you need anything here, well, we just might be able to support you in a variety of ways. One of the key interests that I have concerns Eddie Geisel. I'll really like to connect with Eddie. Anything mining, Africa, I think they come together. So we'll try to structure something along those lines. Of course, Andy was also of interest. I've had a discussion with Doug about this on the sidelines in the past. So it will be nice to connect with Eddie as well. I'll reach out to Dwight, of course. There's a number of things we need to discuss with what I've heard from this meeting. So that's what I require, and that's what I look forward to having in the next few days. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you. Nihi has also been leading Africa investment summits that we do in Africa. We did the first one about a month ago, and it was amazing. And now we've got a number of things planning in the planning stage for 2024. So check that out along the way. We also do monthly conversations about Africa opportunities, and then we have some of the chapters in Africa doing events as well. It's a huge growth area, as is India, and we have an event on India next week that you can join as well, virtually and in person. I saw, speaking of India, Santosh Raghavan. We've only got a few minutes. Would you like to say hi, Santosh? How are you?
Hey, Doug, thank you very much. I'm doing well. Traveling back to Dubai on Monday, but then, yeah, very well, doing good. Basically, we are into foodstuff exports and currently been doing to Middle East, Southeast Asian markets and European markets, and looking forward to expanding to Canada and US in the next year. Probably I might have one company based in New Brunswick, Canada, which is already on talks, and that's it. I'm looking forward to connect with food wholesalers based in Europe and Southeast Asian markets. And if you need anything from India, especially from Bangalore, happy to connect and talk. Thanks, Doug.
Fantastic. Thank you, Santosh. He's our Global Chamber Executive Director for Bangalore as well. There's, I think, one person left who joined late, Mel iPhone. I'm trying to get, it's not Mel Sanderson, is it? Mel, are you there? And not hearing? I think that's, did I forget anybody? Is there anybody that didn't have a chance to speak? And hearing none, thank you so much. We're right at the top of the hour, just as we had hoped and planned. Sorry that we kind of went through a little bit faster here in the second half. Thank you for cooperating. You're all extraordinary. That's why this is called the League of Extraordinaries. Connect with each other. Watch for the LinkedIn post that connects you. Watch, and I've seen lots and lots of emails already connecting you, and we'll be making more over the next couple weeks. If you have any needs or have any ideas, let us know. Send an email to either Cesar or myself. info@globalchamber.org also works. Find some way just to get on the radar so that we can see you and hear you. And believe me, we are very intently focused in on supporting you. It doesn't work out perfectly all the time. Sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. When it doesn't, at least our heart hopefully is in the right place. Cesar, did you have any final comments before we close the room?
Hi, Doug, and hi, everyone. My mind is blowing. So I've been, a lot of information, been making a lot of connections during the call. I'm going to just ask for a quick favor. I just put a link there in the chat. If you can just go there and answer those two questions very quickly, that's helping us to put together a couple of events next year. And it would be great to learn more about your interest in terms of regions. So thanks for that in advance. And again, we'll be sharing a follow-up email with the recording of this session, and we'll be making some connections. We'll be making more, but if we missed any, feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to make sure you will connect. Thanks, Doug.
Thank you. Just for convenience, because we need to close this room, we'll include that form in the newsletter that goes out on Monday. Anybody have any last words before we close? How about happy Friday? Have a great weekend. Thanks for participating. Be global and unstoppable.